good morning. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to Bemis Crafty Corner. I'm Bema, better known as Els, and this is my Crafty Corner. Thank you so much for being here today. My Thanksgiving survivors. Oh, how we all doing? Did that tryptophan do its job? Did we all sleep? Hi, Arlene. Hello, Gypsy. Hi, Miss Mari. It's okay, Arlene. If you pass out, I still love you. You know that. All right. So, what are we doing today? Oh, we're working on our dupe. That's what we're doing. We are working on our dupe. I had hubby cut my piece of wood down. It's not great, but it'll work. We'll sand it. All right, so what are we going to do today? Today we are going to prep our wood, prep our flowers, stuff. He's outside, just woke up, so as soon as he comes in, I will let him know you said good morning. Ooh, my house smells like turkey. I have the carcass in a pot, boiling away. It's a thing. I started doing it when my kids were younger. Because you broke. So I would make like a sort of a turkey a la mommy. So my turkey carcass has been boiling since last night. And I just left it to boil all night. All right, now we have to get this off of here because Hubbard put tape around the edges that he was going to cut to keep the board from splintering. So, just a pro tip. If you are cutting a piece down and it's balsa, because balsa wood is very thin and it's very soft, and so it will splinter if you use, a heavyweight saw on it. And he had the circular saw out, so that's the one he decided to use. So, getting all my tape off. So, let's see. First things first. I know. And what I'll do is I'll boil this down, the carcass. And I picked the carcass, but you never get it all. This way I get it all. I will boil this down, then strain it. And then I'll strain it this afternoon. And then once it's strained, I will let the bone and the meal that's in there all kind of cool. And then I'll get a couple of big bowls and I'll sit here and I'll pick between the bones and the cartilage and all of that, the meat. And then once I have all of that, then I can start getting, the rest of it. And then I will put it in a pan. I'll make a roux. And then I'll add my hard vegetables to it. Potatoes, diced potatoes, and there's a really big, there. Okay. not great, but it's getting better. I'm just kind of softening the edges at this point. Now it is balsa, so, gentle. Be gentle. All right. So I've softened all of my edges. You can see there's a little bit of a rounding to the edge, and that's kind of what we were looking for. This is rough on the bottom. So I'm just going to take off anything that's loose. I decided to wear all black today. Probably not a good idea. All right. Let's get a little shit over here. And broom. Then I'm going to actually use the brush to get off anything that's on here still that's loose. As far as, sanding stuff. All right, so now it's all prepped to be done. Yeah, so after I get my hard veggies in, and I have the turkey set aside, I'll make the roux and add the roux to it and thicken it up. And once I'll actually put it back on the stove, and while the hard vegetables are in, what I'm really doing is reducing the stock and making it more condensed. And then I will hit it with, that's horrible. I'm going to do a little more work there. All right. Better. And I'll let that reduce, and then, I don't know, sometime around 7 o'clock tonight, it'll be ready. Something to protect my work spot. Night, honey. Carla! All right, so we are going to we're going to stain this. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't happen to have any stain handy. I probably do if I go out to the garage, but I don't have any in here. What I do have is this. What freaking color is this? There we go. Should it say? Right, somewhere on this bottle, it should say what color this is. Oh, chocolate drizzle. So it's just brown. I can use any shade of brown I want. Okay. And I'm going to put it in a jar. And then I'm going to add water to this. A lot of water. I am going to water it down. So about equal parts paint and water. This is messy. Now you can use a foam brush or whatever you want. I use a big mop to do this. And I'm just going to mix my paint well with the water. Now it does help if you use a flat paint or matte, but this one is high gloss, so it's going to be a little weird. Because I only have gloss right now. And I'm going to grab a bunch of towels for this little mess. This little messy endeavor. Can't grab one. There we go. Okay. Paper towels. Ball them up, put them to the side. So, see how wet this is? It's like, it's literally pouring off the brush, and that's what we want. Okay? We're going to put it on. Very wet. We're going to get one of our towels or two of our towels, and we're going to wipe it off. Okay? And as you can see, it gives you a faux stain. I know, right? So we're going to do all of our visual sides. If it's going to show, we're going to do it. So get it on there and get it off. Don't let it dry. Okay? Don't even let it start to dry. Put it on, take it off, just like you would a stain. Okay? Done, take it off. Now, you don't have to do the bottom of the wood, but if you want to, then by all means, you do you, boo. Okay? Now, it is going to be a little darker on the edges where your wood is more porous. Just keep going. Okay? Could try taping it off. I'm going to do the bottom just for giggles because I have the extra, but you'll see how fast on the bottom, how fast this soaks in. And so it doesn't really stain on the porous wood as much as it paints it. You see what I mean? All right, now believe it or not, this is very wet. So we're gonna let it dry. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'll be right back. Now, we've done this technique before. We did this technique when we made those little, oh, what? Let me grab it. I know where it is. They're a little dusty. All right, so we've done this technique before when we made these little, crates, fruit crate things. So this was another Dollar Tree dupe that we did. But we did it on this one as well. And it works really well. And it comes out really nice. Oh. Now, if you have a matte varnish or you have some spray, that you can use to seal it, you can certainly seal this. It doesn't really require a whole lot, but it is still wet, so I'm going to let that dry. And we're going to move on to our flowers. So let me get this and put it to the side. Okay, let me find Michelle because she wanted to see this whole thing. I'm going to mute. Sorry, guys. Hi, JD. She wanted to see me do this, and it's not logged in yet. Michelle doesn't really. Clocks aren't. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to take everything off of these. We don't want any of this. We don't. We really don't. So we're going to take off the flowers. And yes, that includes these stupid stem things. So we're going to take off flowers. We're going to take off leaves because our trees don't have leaves. Again, I have a vision in my brain of how this is going to work. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But this is the part we want. Just this part, okay? So we're going to strip all these down. Ooh, well, we could keep these little flower things. Yeah, those are grouped. Okay, so we're going to get all of these off of here. I probably should have just gone into my Dollar Tree and said, hey, do you have any naked stems? They probably would have looked at me like I was crazy, but they probably have hundreds of them in the back. Because people, I don't know what it is about people at the Dollar Tree, but they pull the flowers off these things. All right, so we're stripping these all down. Hi, Michelle. She had a big ride yesterday, I'll tell you. See what I mean? Like half a flower gone. Okay. I'm going to tear this off of here. I hate doing it, but because it always leaves, crap behind. All right. Getting off our petals. What is that? That one's got green in it. It's different. All of these. And like I said, this we can keep. You know, if you want to use these for something else, you can keep those flowers. There is a way to take them apart. I'll show you. In case you don't know how. I know almost everybody does, but there are some people out there that don't. That are new to the crafting world. Another one. And the last one. Flower. I didn't pick these flowers because they were pretty. I was actually standing there and this lady was like, oh, those would look cute with this. And she pulled up another stem and I was like, nope, just going to pull them all apart. She just looked at me like I'd grown a third eyeball. All right, we have 4 stems and a bunch of flowers. These are actually very easy to take apart. In the center here, there's a little plastic plug. If you take that off, the petals come off. And then there's this little piece. And so if you pull that piece off, the rest of these will come off. Get it up there. So if you want to just keep the flowers, you could just keep the flowers. All right, I need a bag. I don't have a bag for these. Oh, well, we'll just pick them up in a big pile and I'll throw them in the box over here. Harry will have a field day chasing these around. You can use those petals for flower fairies too. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can put them on snippets. Put them anywhere. All right, so now we have our sticks. See, that's why I don't like to pull that off there. Now we got that on there. Doesn't really matter. Because we're going to cover these. Because these are our sticks. Now, I'm kind of just working from the picture. Wherever I put the picture. Here it is. So I'm just kind of looking at the picture, trying to kind of figure out how this is going to work. And I'm thinking I might want to add some floral wire to this. I don't know. But I do have some floral tape, and this is brown floral tape. Brown. You can use whatever color you've got. If you've got masking tape, you can use masking tape. Now, I do have to decide on my stems, like how tall I want these to be. And I'm thinking like right about here. And this is, you can see they're notched. That's so they cut easier. So get out your bolt or wire cutters, throw them on the floor. So I'm cutting through the plastic, and then I'm going to cut through the wire. Now, here's the thing. Those wires, for every one of these, that's where that wire is. So you're cutting through probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of wire. Okay? So be careful. Don't get mad if it doesn't happen right away. So cut through the plastic first, and then just go back and forth a little bit. And so you'll break all 6 of them one at a time. They're not very thick wires, but when they're all clumped together like that, there's strength in numbers. We all learned that, right? So however many sticks you've got here, that's how many wires are down here. I'm going to cut this one a little taller. I don't know. I just want to. Okay. Because they're all different. Look at them. They're all different. This one is way down here. This one's up here. We're going to set these at the same height. So we got one that's way down here, one that's up here, this one here, and that one is kind of like here. So we have all different heights. All right. So wire cutters, go slow. So I said that I would show you how to do this bottom. I really wanted 5 of these, but they only had 4. And I didn't, and they're all different colors. So I told you I would show you how to do the bottom out of cardboard. So let's do that. So if you're using cardboard to make yours, you decide how long it's going to be. This piece of cardboard is about 15 inches. So I don't know, like 7.5, give or take. Since I'm not using cardboard, I'm just going to show you roughly how to do this. So you want to kind of cut your cardboard sort of in half, wherever your half point is. And then cut your width. We're going to pretend that I've measured this and that these pieces are all the same size, okay? And just glue them up until you get a base that's as thick as you want it to be, okay? And then go ahead and put your stain on here. Is it going to stain the same? No. It's probably going to suck in a whole lot faster. But it is what it is. So if you have that and you don't want that, you can use this and glue it on. This is floral moss, and it's from the Dollar Tree. It's $1 for this giant package. This giant bag of moss. It's $1. Okay? So if you don't have like what you need to do this, as far as like a piece of board, just glue up your cardboard, trim it to the shape that you want, and then you'll be able to put your holes in there to put your sticks in. Okay? I gotta get a new knife. This one's running out of blade. Okay. So now, this part. They're green. We don't want them to be green. I don't recommend using the whole roll here. I use pieces, and you just take this stuff and you stretch it. And that sort of makes it semi-sticky, where at least it sticks to itself. If you need glue, use glue. Okay. I like to start in the middle, and what I do is I put it like in the stem here and pull it down as far as I can, and then I'll do the base. And all I'm doing is wrapping at a slight angle. And you can do this as many times as you want. So if you want this to be thicker, you can certainly make it thicker. If you feel that you need to have something that's a little bit more funky, add some hot glue. Drip some hot glue on there, which would look great as ice, in my opinion. And then I'm going to come back up here. Now, when I get to these pieces again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one. This one. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to wrap around this one. Now, this gets to be a pain in the butt right here at the corner, but that's okay. Just keep going. That's why we're not using the whole roll. Okay? Now, again, if I want to save some time and I want this branch to be thicker, put it on your silicone mat or your glass board, whatever it is, and cover it in hot glue. Okay? And then wrap it. So we're going to wrap the whole thing. And I'm going to wrap this a couple of times. This is going to take a while. I'm actually going to hot glue and wrap off camera because otherwise we'd be here forever. You know? So this is all just part of prep. So now you can see we're starting to make it look more like brown, more wood. Again, if you're using masking tape, just do the same thing. Put the masking tape on. And if I was using masking tape, I would tear it in half like you do washi tape, you know, tear it down the middle and use that because it's going to be a little easier to handle and it's going to fit in a little better. You could gesso it, but then you're going to end up with like it's going to be really dark. So you want to be careful when you're using the gesso. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get my silicone mat out. We're going to do one of these with some hot glue. This one. So that y'all can see how we can bulk this up and give it that more realistic tree look. So we're going to let that warm up. Now, I was not going to use them because I wanted to use white. But then I realized that would be redonkulous. So, and I got the wrong ones. These are regular LEDs and these are like the fairy lights. So this is on a thin wire and this is on a thick wire, I think. Could just be the base if it's thick. I may have to go to the Dollar Tree to get one. Nope, this one's regular. Yeah, it's just the base. So I'm probably going to go get more lights because I got to go out today anyway. I'm breaking my own rule here, but I have to because I'm out of fruit and I have to eat fruit every day. So I'm leaving the house today. I'm not leaving by myself. My daughter's coming. So whatever your main one is, which is usually the longest one, that one you're definitely going to want to make thicker because that's your tree trunk. This is like, these are branches off of your tree. And again, you can add, and I'll show you because we did the same thing. I don't know if the video is still up these, but if you are a Harry Potter fan, you're going to know who this is. Okay. And we made these. I make these and I sell them. Believe it or not, I sell a lot of these little things. So if you don't know and you're not a Harry Potter fan, this is a bow truckle. And my little bow truckle is actually made out of floral tape and pipe cleaners. You need one for your tree. So I did a video on those, God, a long time ago, and I do sell them. I have a whole bunch of. They're in a little cage in the garage because you don't want a bow truckle getting loose, because it can be dangerous. Believe it or not, that is still wet. Just a little bit, but it's still wet. Okay, so we have this piece. So we're going to make this stem a little bit thicker and a little more irregular. How? We're going to put hot glue on it and let it dry. And then when it dries, we're going to turn it over and we're going to put some on the other side. Somebody said I should start a new channel, The Aggressive Crafter, because I get bitchy. Use polymer clay. Yeah. I like this guy because he moves. Like you can move him, you can move him around. And I like that. But he sits up on my camera. He's my camera guy. So when the camera's really screwed up, it's his fault. It's the bow truckle's fault. Now, if you have the glue that has color in it, you could add the colored, the colored glue sticks that we don't know what to do with. Okay. I'm going to turn this off because I'm only doing the one right now. And we're going to let this cool. And then we'll wrap it and you'll see the difference between this one and this one. Now, back to this real quick while we're letting that dry. While we're letting it cool. And I'm kind of using techniques from different stuff here, but for this, what I would do is I would decide where I want my sticks to be, where I want my trees to be, and I would mark that. And then if you have a drill, I would pre-drill this a little bit so that you can sink these down into it with some wood glue. Yeah, wood glue, not hot glue, ladies, wood glue. If you don't have wood glue, just use regular white glue, but don't use hot glue because the hot glue, when it cools, it's not very adhesive. You know what I mean? And so these will break out. You don't want to do that. So just put in like regular glue. If you don't have regular glue, all of that sanding stuff that you took off at the beginning, save it. Mix it with your white glue. Now it's wood glue. Put it in the hole. Yeah, you have to use a wireframe for it. That's what I use the pipe cleaners for. All right, so this is mostly dry, mostly cooled. It's still a little warm. It has to be totally cooled, okay? But you can see we're already getting like different shapes and different volume here. And that's really what we want. You could put 2 or 3 coats on it if you want, however thick you want your tree branches to be. And I think there's 10 lights in here, and I think that you're going to need like at least 1 string of lights for each tree. So I have to go get more lights. But these ones are colored, and I want the white ones. So I'm going to go, my store only had the colored ones, my local store. So I'm going to go to one of my other local stores and see if I can find the ones that are, white. Because I want white. Okay, almost cool. It's still a little, like you can feel a little bit of warmth on it. Okay. So again, I'm just going to take like a foot or so of my tape, tear it off, stretch it out. This is supposed to be brown, but it looks more red to me, but that's okay. I'll live with it. And then I'm going to put it in on a different branch. This is important. Because if you put it on this branch alone, it could just pull right off, and we don't want that, okay? So I'm going to go around until I get to that branch. So I wrapped it around this branch, and I'm going to wrap it around and come over here until I get to this branch, and then I'm going to bring it up. Okay? Get this one out of the way. We're going to wrap. Now this wrap is going to take a little bit longer. Why? Because we're not just wrapping on a stick. We've put that glue on there, and that makes it have more textures and more dips and valleys and more depth, and we put knots in it. You guys get the idea. We're going to go back the other way, pushing the tape into our dips and valleys. Keep it snug. Now remember, we're going to put more tape on this when it comes time to add the lights. Yep. All right, so that's just the stick, just wrapping the stick. That's what it looks like. And this is doing it with the hot glue. So you can see it looks more like a branch, you know, because this is cool, but it's just a stick. But this now looks more like a branch. Okay. So we're going to do that to all of them. I have a big old bag of crappy hot glue, and that's what I'm going to use. And then tonight, on our craft with me, we're going to work on this some more. This is probably going to take, I think, probably 3 episodes, three vids to get it. Okay. Yes, it was hot glue because we're trying to make it look more like wood, you know, like the picture. This is all I really have to go off of is this picture and the other one. And they're both pretty much the same, except one's white and the other one's brown. But so we're going to, we're going to work it. Again, you can add to this if you want. You can add, and I'll show you how to do that later. Well, because I'm going to get most of these done, but, well, I'm not going to get most of them done. I'm going to get like probably this one done. But I can show you how to add to this using the floral wire or pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners actually work better because they have some, when you cover them, they have a little give to them. And so they're a little bit more natural looking. So I'll show you how to do it with pipe cleaners, how we're going to add some extra branches, because obviously we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 branches, and these have like 20. So we have to add to them. Okay. So just a little bit of creativeness. If you've already wrapped one like this and you want to add glue to it, just bring it out and add your hot glue and then work your way up. Okay. So this is going to take a little while to dry. It's almost there. And then you can seal this if you want with polyurethane or matte seal, whatever seal you have that you want to use. If you are using these kinds of lights that have the little box in them, you either want to make sure that your board is wide enough to take them this way, or that you can fit 4 of them on here. And this particular board is about 3 3/4 inches wide, and both these 2 boxes will fit. So you'll have 2 on this side and 2 on the other side, and that'll be all 4. And those can serve as your base under this. Okay. So keeping that in mind. If you have the other kind of lights, the ones that I use that have that little flat base on them, what the heck do I have that has that in there? Hold on, I know. Crap, this one doesn't have it. That it did. It does not. Oh shit. I thought that one had it, but it doesn't. It's the Halloween one that does. But I do these, and they work with the flat watch batteries. And so they're only like 1/4 of an inch thick. I have that kind of light as well. And that's the one that I would probably use with this. But since we're doing this as a Dollar Tree dupe, we're using these. Now, so far, what have we spent? $1.25 for the board. $1.25 for each of these. So we're at $6.25 so far. Remember, this is what? $188. $189. Okay. So the original was $189. All right, we have spent so far $6.25. Okay, this was $2.99, so we'll say $3. And that's with the tags. Okay. So far we're at $9.25. Let's add in the hot glue. A whole bag of hot glue is $3. So we'll add another $3 for the hot glue. This is the tape, stems, and base. And then $3 for hot glue. We'll say $1 total in paint. That's going to be between this and whatever other paint we use. So we'll say $1 in paint. And then like the lights, these are $1.25 a pack. It's going to take 4 packs, $5 for lighting. What else are we using in this project? Not a whole hell of a lot. And then let's add another $2 for, extras. If you want to, do some extras. So far we are in at a quarter here. Yay. $20.25. So far we've saved $169 basically. Bye, honey. Get a good cake. Don't get any blue. No blue icing. That stuff always tastes gross. The darker the colors, the worse the icing tastes. Oh my God. So figure we're saving about $150 minimally by making this ourselves. Okay. If you have scrap wood, you don't even need to buy the scrap wood. If you already have the lights, you don't have to buy the lights. Batteries. Okay. So this is going to take 8 batteries, and you can get an 8-pack of batteries at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. What else? The moss is $1.25 if you're going to use it. You don't have to use the moss. Maybe you don't want to use the moss. Maybe you're going to use the moss and you're going to add some little, fake snow in there. Maybe you're just going to use a piece of quilt batting that you have laying around. You're just going to pull it and glue it on there to make it look like snowdrifts. Whatever you're going to do. Maybe you're going to put little clumps on the leaves, on the branches, to make it look like there's snow on the branches. Okay? Yes, and the blue stains everything. So, it's going to take, I would say probably maybe, let's be realistic, 3 hours to put this together, okay, from beginning to end. Obviously, I've been here for 48 minutes, and so far we've managed to clean these down, stain this. But if I was doing this and I wasn't explaining what I was doing, I'd probably be way ahead of this. You know what I mean? If I wasn't showing stuff, like if I didn't wrap this one to show you the difference between the two and how you can make it look, how you can bulk it up. And I get it. You guys know what you're doing, but not everybody who watches this video is going to know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So, and I still have to get a video out of this because I got to post an actual video. So we're going to have our trees. I'm going to see if I can find one more of these because I really do feel it needs to have 5. It's either got to be 3 or 5. You know what I mean? So I'm going to see if I can find another one. All right. So yesterday, I thank you all for hanging out with me, all of you that came by. And if you were with your family, fantastic. But, if you weren't, know that I was here on and off throughout the day yesterday for several hours. And I'll do the same thing on Christmas. I do the same thing on New Year's Day. I even do it on Easter. Just because, I don't want anybody to be alone. You know what I mean? And I do go live on StreamYard periodically throughout the day so that, it maybe you've never gone live before and you would like to try it. Maybe you do a couple of little videos on your channel, or maybe you do exclusively a lot of videos on your channel, but you don't go live and you would like to try it. It's a way of doing it in a non-threatening manner because you get to come on with other people. So it's not like on your head to carry the live. You just have to be there. Lots of kids with blue tongues running around, right? So, that's always an option. And there's less people on the holidays. So if you're somebody who's nervous about going live, you can do that on those particular lives. And you don't really feel a threat, and that's a wonderful way of doing it. And we've had a couple of people who've never gone live before, and they come live on those lives, and it gets them the confidence to actually go live on their own. You fell asleep early. It was the trip to fame. Telling you, got everybody. So we're going to work on these. Like I said, I'm going to probably do these ones off camera, and we'll work this one together. But tonight we're going to be working on this as well. So if you have got the pieces and parts and you'd like to get started on this, you could get started on it. And then tonight we can work on it. I'm going to be seeing if I can find another one of these. And if I can, then I'm going to put my holes in so that I can stand these suckers up and get my lights on. And I'm going to be using the floral tape to attach the lights. So like I said, I'm going to have one of these for every tree. So for me, it's going to be 5 sets of lights. Okay. And it's going to come up and it'll be covered with whatever I put on the bottom of this, on the base. And I may just make the holes really big. And then, so I can bring the wire up through the bottom. We'll see how I work it. But these wires are very thin because they're fairy lights. So I think if we drilled the holes through from the bottom, big enough on the bottom that we can put this in, and we could still bring the fairy lights up and bring it up this, and then add them to the stem. You guys know what I mean. All right. So, yeah. So far we figure we're saving about $50 to $60. We're only spending about $20 to $30 total on this when it's all said and done. And that's pretty good for something that's $200, and I will almost guarantee you that if you do this and you do it, this would be a craft fair favorite. I bet you could probably get, if you do craft fairs, you could probably sell these at a craft fair for about $30, $40. So, and the truth is that, like, once you buy the tape, this is enough tape probably to do 10 of these, at least 5. Okay. So the tape cost is going to go down. The lighting is really the only expensive thing on this one. And if you're sparing, you probably can get away with it. Go up to the garage. Oh God, she's going to go to the garage. Take the dog with you in case you need to be found later. The wood, I actually cut this. I cut it down, and then we cut it in half. So I actually have 2 pieces from my $1.25 piece of wood. So see me soon. Are you coming to Vegas, Janie? Are you? She took that out quick. You can come to Vegas anytime you want. I got an extra bedroom, bed and everything. You come up here, you stay with me. Playing that shit. You come to Vegas, you come stay with me. You, Michelle, Rose, Arlene. I'm gonna get Arlene one of these days, I swear. I'm gonna pull up to Arlene's house, and I'm gonna have a toy hauler behind me. So when I'm gonna have an RV with like a toy hauler door in the back. So when she goes, well, I can't, I'm gonna go roll the fuck up. Roll up. You just roll on in. I'm evil like that. You know I am. I'm evil like that. I'll just like show up. I did it to Michelle. The poor girl was naked. She was getting in the shower. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm taking a shower. I said, get your ass outside. I'm horrible. I am. I'm a horrible, horrible person. But it's okay because I love you guys. And you know that my horribleness just comes from my heart. Once you get to know me really well, though, you put my daughter's phone number on speed dial so that you can look at me occasionally and go, I'm going to call her, because that'll make me stop every time. I can even work my way out of trouble with Mike, but not my daughter. Like, I will call my daughter, and the first thing out of her mouth, if somebody else calls my daughter and goes, I'm with your mother, the first thing out of her mouth is paperwork. Every time, paperwork. Oh. Okay, another thing you can use if you don't have hot glue, if you want to like just have fun with this, texture paste. Just like add some texture paste. You could put it in a bag, like, you know, like you're piping it, and you could pipe it right onto here. That would work too. I think that would be cool. Okay. All right, so I got to run because I am going out, and she's here. I'm going out. I got to get more lights. I told her this was an emergency. I don't know how she's going to respond to that. It's probably going to be a lecture. But I need to go get more lights. And I really want a fifth thing, so I'm going to go find that too. But I don't normally go out. I don't go out from the day before Thanksgiving until January the 3rd or the 5th in that neighborhood. But, and you know what? If you don't want to pay $1.25 a stem for these, check out your local thrift store. I will almost guarantee you somewhere in your thrift store, they have a bag full of artificial flowers. And if they don't, ask them, because I'll bet you they have them in the back, and they'll throw them in a bag and throw a price tag on it for you. All right, so I am out of here until tonight. So we've got our major prep done. This is now just drying, and it's been an hour. Okay, so this is just drying. So this does take a little bit of time. You have to sand it and mix up your stain and do your staining and everything. Again, if you missed that, go back to the beginning of the video. It's going to tell you how to take your acrylic paint and turn it into a wood stain. If you don't want to go back and watch this video, you could go and watch the one where we did these, because we're using the same technique. Okay, so we're using the same technique that we did on this for this. I think we might even be using the same color. Pretty close. So there's that. And then at the beginning, we show you how to clean these up and how to cut all of this. Be careful. Go easy. Don't rush. Do this carefully, because you're cutting through 6 wires in there. And so you don't want to poke yourself. You don't want to, because if you slip, you could jam this into your finger. So be careful. Okay? Please be careful. And I'm going to go get stuff, and then I'll be back. When I come back, I'm going to get most of these done, and we'll have our one that we're working for later. And I'm going to drill my holes. Yeah. And then tonight, we're going to finish this one up, and we'll do the whole thing, you know? Hi, Harry.
You left me out there.
I know. I left you outside. You were outside in the condominium with Daddy. What do you want from me? And you were out there with Gingy, and you love Gingy. That's your girlfriend, huh? Yeah. There you go. Say hi to everybody. All right. So if you're new here, subscribe. I will eventually tick you off or offend you, and I want you to be here for it, because it is so much better when you're here for it, okay? Also, if you would like to know what's going on with my channel, you can click here on the YouTube channel in the posts or the community or whatever the heck they're calling it now. Or you can go over to my YouTube group, my Facebook group, and you can get a copy of everything that I got going on this, you know, on the channel, as far as like free classes and videos and projects and lives, and it's just all there. And everybody's saying hi to you. Mari said hi earlier, but you were outside. Michelle said hi.
Morning.
He says morning. He's not awake yet. He's only been up for an hour. He didn't sleep. Didn't sleep well last night. So yeah, if you want to cyber stalk me, just go down to the description and click on more, because you're going to find my email address, my Facebook group, my Instagram. I'm trying to get better with the Insta. I really am. I'm crap at Instagram, but I'm trying to get better. I might actually do the Insta, like that might be my hate shopping channel. You know what I mean? Like just the weirdest stuff that I find in thrift stores. Might go on my Insta. And Jamie says hi to you. And let's see. I think that's everything. Just if you want to cyber stalk me or you want to be insulted, click on subscribe. Be here. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. I love you guys, and I'll see you tonight. Bye-bye. I gotta watch this Downton Abbey. I haven't watched a bit of it.